Hey, happy Friday, baseball way lovers. How's everybody doing? Getting ready for the weekend, big Memorial Day weekend. And when you're a baseball fan, Memorial Day weekend basically is a good testing ground to see where your team stands at this point in the season. So we'll see after this weekend. A lot of great stuff happening this year. Some expected, some unexpected, but never in my entire life did I expect to see a play like I did yesterday with Javi Baez. Now, if you're not aware, what El Mago did yesterday, it was magical. He is the little player, Javi Baez, who is better than everyone else when it comes to running around the bases and forcing things to happen. You had to see it to believe it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but you can call it bravado. You can call it baseball IQ. You could say he plays the game with enthusiasm as a kid. But no matter what call him, I think everybody loves to see Javi Baez play. Based on what he did Thursday against the Pirates in PNC Park, is still mesmerizing people in conversation. In the top of the third inning, the Cubs 5-3 win over the Pirates. Baez was at the plate with 2 outs and Contreras on second. Baez hit a sharp grounder to Bucks third baseman Eric Gonzalez, who threw the first for what would have been the final out of the inning. The throw was wide. However, pulling first baseman Will Craig off the bag. With Baez halfway down the line, Craig ready to tag Baez as he approached. The Chicago Magic Man, Mr. Baez, had other ideas, stopping in his tracks and going back toward the plate. Craig pursued him, though he could have just stopped on first to record the out as Baez continued home. So he basically had brain freeze. Craig, I've never seen anything like this. There should have been aces on the field. You want to go to first or anything, said Pirates star Tyler Anderson. That's a whole team thing right there. But he just froze, and Contreras rounded third and was heading towards the plate. Craig saw him coming and flipped the ball to catcher Michael Perez, but it was too late as Contreras slid in safely. Baez even waited around to signal safe on Contreras' slide. You had to see this. Well, for taking off at first, and Perez's throw to second baseman Adam Frazier was wild, allowing Baez to go to second on the error. And then, to top it all off, Baez made it a 3-0 game when he scored on Ian Happ's single to center in his next at-bat. So Baez did it all yesterday. What a game. I've never seen a player improvise like that on the base paths. Seen it in the schoolyard, seen the game they call rundown, but I've never seen that on the base paths like that. And the Cubs just keep doing what they need to do to win. And they've had a rough month with the injured list for sure. They have 10 players on the shelf. Chris Bryant's basically turned into a super utility man, and Anthony Rizzo sat out his second straight game with back tightness. But Kyle Hendricks came through, struck out 5 and allowed 3 solo home runs in 7 innings of work. The Pirates even lowered the bases while behind 4-3 in the 8th, and yet Chicago now has gone 16-7 in May with 10 wins in its last 13 games. So way to go, Cubbies. They are, like I said, everyone's dying to see what the Cubs do every year. And this was a year everyone was expecting either they're going to be sellers or they're going to be players. But they've decided to, I think they're going to be in it to win it, to be honest with you. How about Shohei Ohtani? Oh, my God. Bay Area traffic. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Ohtani was scheduled to start the game against the A's on Thursday at the Coliseum. He was on a team bus heading from the team hotel in San Francisco out to Oakland when an accident occurred on the Bay Bridge. The decision was made to turn back around and take the BART, which is Bay Area Rapid Transit, sort of like the subway here in New York, to the ballpark instead. But there was an issue with a transfer that caused Ohtani to arrive to the Oakland Coliseum an hour after he had planned. So as a result, the Angels decided to push back Ohtani's start to Friday, giving Patrick Sandoval to start instead in the series opener versus Oakland. The bus coming over, Joe Madden says, I guess there was an accident on the Bay Bridge, which caused Plan B, which meant they had to go back and take the BART. And I guess there was an issue with the transfer on the BART, and they kept pushing him back. Shohei is pretty regimented. He usually starts everything around 4 o'clock, but he expected that maybe an hour. So we started calling an audible and decided not to pitch him tonight. So always expect the unexpected when it comes to traffic in these major metropolitan areas. Although Ohtani had enough time to get ready to hit, so he was put in the lineup as the club's DH in the second spot versus Chris Bassit. He initially wasn't in the Gosselin was slated to start as DH, but Ohtani replaced Gosselin and went 0 for 3 with a walk in the Angels' 5-0 loss. And Ohtani isn't expected to be back in the lineup on Friday. The Angels are trying to give him a break while on the mound. Just easier for him to get ready to go DH today as opposed to attempting pitch. So we just made a decision, and he's well rested. Ohtani has posted a 2.37 ERA with 45 strikeouts in 30 and a third innings in 6 starts this season, but saw his velocity dip by roughly 5 miles per hour in his last outing on Wednesday against Cleveland. Ohtani, however, has insisted he's healthy and has a homer and 5 RBIs at the plate in 5 games at DH since that outing. Now, how about we talk about one Max Muncy? How about it, Max? Max homered against the Giants again. Again. He had a pretty rough 2020 season, Max Muncy did last year. But he had 3 homers in the postseason, and he did help the Dodgers win their first World Series since 1988. And I guess winning that World Series helped erase some of Muncy's frustrations to that year. And he has added that his numbers have never mattered to him, but he knows that he produces better. When he produces better, the Dodgers produce better. And so far, it's hard to find a player who's doing much more for his team than Muncy. And once again, my friends, I was all on display again as he delivered the go-ahead homer and Dodgers 4-3 win over the Giants on Thursday. If you look at the stats carefully, he this year is probably one of the top 3 players in the game this year. It came in a good time yesterday because the Dodgers deployed a bullpen game. David Price, by trade a starter, led a string of 7 relievers with 2 2/3 innings as a opener. And DJ Peters hit his first major homer for the Dodgers. And JT Turner hit a 2-run homer for the Dodgers in the third. But with the game tied at 3 in the 6th, it was Muncy who delivered the big hit, which has been a familiar sight for Dodgers so far this season. He broke the tie, launching Alex Wood's sinker into deep right center field to give Dodgers a 4-3 lead. The homer came with a bit of a bat flip as well, and it was Muncy's 11th homer this season and 3rd against the Giants this year. Muncy's a pretty selective hitter. He controls the strike zone, and I think it was just a matter of time to get going, and Dodgers are sure glad he's getting going. And it was kind of rough for Muncy because last year Dodgers battled a lot of injuries, and opposing teams were basically daring Muncy to chase out of the strike zone and have somebody else beat them. But he was glad accepting walks, and because of that, he leads the major leagues with 42 walks. The bottom of the order, he's producing, and he's gotten more pitches to hit, and he hasn't missed many of them. Since May 4th, Muncy has 8 homers, the 3rd most in the majors behind Adolis Garcia and Toronto's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And over his last 20 games, Muncy leads the majors with a .494 on-base percentage. Wow. He's playing Gold Glove caliber defense at first and is able to move to second in order to make room for Albert Pujols in the lineups. This guy's doing it all. And he came into Thursday's game with a 2.9 baseball reference WAR, which leads all baseball players. Dave Roberts simply said it's the best all-around baseball he's played in the big leagues. And with Muncy leading the way, the Dodgers have continued their dominance, winning 13 of their last 15 games. And they won all 4 games against the Giants this season. So the Giants are doing it when they have to. And I always say those divisional games are always big. And that's how the Dodgers made up ground going after the Giants. And it's going to have a big effect on them at the end of the year, I'm telling you. Listen to Uncle Stan when he tells you these things. How about Chris Bassit? He was unbelievable yesterday. He was so good yesterday. He had to hold back the tears at the end of the game. And he is so thankful that the A's organization stuck by his side through so much crap. And he's so grateful, he said honestly. He had the game of his life yesterday. He underwent Tommy John surgery in 2016, missed all of 2017. And really, the recovery wasn't easy for Bassit. Upon returning in 2018, he went between starting and relieving. And he was basically a borderline major league player at this point. He had to prove he had staying power. In 2019, Bassit put together just about a full season's workload. Then last season, he broke through, finishing 8th and voting for the AL Cy Young Award. And on Thursday, he pitched a beauty, a masterpiece. He limited the Angels 2 hits, striking out 9. And looks like he's pitching with a lot of confidence, using all his pitches, getting ahead in the counts, and getting a lot of soft contact. The guys aren't really hitting the ball hard against him. His stuff is a little bit unpredictable, and you could see he's pitching with confidence right now. He got the Golden Trident. I don't know if you follow the A's, but that gives that's basically the Player of the Game award that they give to the players. So that was cool. And the A's, if they have Bassit pitching like this on a consistent basis, it only adds more weapons to their arsenal, that's for sure. You know who's been a big, big weapon for the Texas Rangers this year? You got it. Adolis Garcia. Man, oh man, has he been hitting those home runs, huh? He's the home run leader. And he's no stranger going deep, but I guess he has watched his home runs going out of the ballpark. So he said, it's time for me to maybe take one away. He robbed Seattle's Mitch Haniger of a home run on Thursday. He tracked the ball at the wall and a leap to take it away, what would have been a solo shot to break a scoreless tie. And he had a fight with the fans to contend with the ball going over the wall, but it was quite a catch. Now, in the game itself, Jacob Nottingham hit back-to-back homers at 407 and 391 feet. And Haniger's ball was estimated to travel at 395 feet. The Rangers fell to the Mariners 5-0, but nothing to take. He has 16 homers in the majors this season, tied with Vlad Guerrero Jr. tops in the majors. He had a quiet night at the plate by his standards, going 0-3 at a walk and taking a 6-game hitting streak. And had another great defensive play in the bottom of 7th, throwing out the runner at home to end the Mariners' 3-run inning. It was the second time this season that Garcia has thrown the Mariners' base runner out the plate, the first coming in a 9-8 victory on May 8th in Arlington. He's playing good baseball on both sides of the ball. I mean, offensively, defensively. Just a shame that he's not playing on a better team, but eventually maybe they'll turn around and he'll get to shine with a winner. And I guess they really didn't get a chance to see Adolis play consistently in center field on a daily basis, but it looks like he can do it. But the offense just needs to hit for the Rangers. Chris Flexen, back from Japan. I know, what was it? Korea. I was watching him in the KBO last year. He pitched 7 innings, allowing just 3 hits and striking out 6. So great day for Adolis in the field. Unfortunately, a rough day for the Rangers at the plate. And what would 2021 be without injuries? Injuries. Oh my God, when are these guys going to be? I think it's just going to be one of those years, just the way last year was wacky and players are really stretching out their bodies. So let's give you a rundown on what's going on the injury front. Bryce Harper's on the 10-day IL. His possible return is June 2nd. He suffered the injury on April 28th when a 97-mile-per-hour fastball ricocheted off his face and struck his left forearm. Soger played with the issue for nearly a month before being placed on the IL. Giancarlo Stanton is expected back today, maybe, and they're looking for a return from him. He has a left quad strain he's recovering from. Cody Bellinger may be back tomorrow, hairline fracture in the left leg. He's played a handful of rehab games, and he could be back by the weekend. Pete Alonso, right-hand sprain. Mets are hoping to have him back by the end of the day. He's eligible to come back off the IL on Saturday. Byron Buxton was having one hell of a year. He could be back next week sometime. Probably have a couple of rehab games. He's a grade 2 right hip strain. Same with JT Realmuto. Expect him maybe back next week. He has a left wrist bone bruise. LeBron Hayes, maybe June 3rd. Joey Votto with that fractured left thumb, looking at the first half of June, not exactly sure when. Same with George Springer, early mid-June for George. He has a white quad strain. Corey Seager, same thing, possibly in mid to late June for the Dodgers. He has a fractured right hand. Michael Conforto, late June with a strained right hamstring. Zach Gallen, possibly in June. He has a UCLA sprain in his right elbow. Luke Voigt, possibly sometime in June, but it's going to be at least a few weeks. He has a grade 2 right oblique strain. Chris Sale, possibly late June, early July. He's recovering from TJ surgery. Mike Trout, early to mid-July. He has that grade 2 right calf strain. Corey Kluber, a late big blow to the Yankees. He was pitching so well until he got hurt. He'll be expected back in late July. He has a subpolar muscle strain in the right shoulder. Noah Syndergaard had a setback. He was removed from his rehab start with low A St. Lucie due to right elbow inflammation. He's recovering from Tommy John. Now they're not expecting him till maybe August. So a tough blow for the Mets and Noah Syndergaard with his return. But someone who is healthy and playing well, after all these years, still going at it. How about it? Adolis Garcia. I'm going back in time to earlier in the broadcast. Yadier Molina. Yadier. Yes, you heard me. Yadier Molina. What a game he had yesterday. He had the big hit yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it, heard about it. I'm here to tell you about it. The game went into extra innings for the Cardinals yesterday, and Yadi came through in the clutch. And he continues to defy father time, and the Cardinals were able to win 5-4 over the Diamondbacks in extra innings due to Yadier's heroics. So that was nice to see. He wasted a go-ahead RBI double down the left field line. And he ensured that the D-backs late rally would go for naught as the Cardinals improved to 28-22, holding a half-game lead over the Cubs in National League Central. He's really been an Iron Man back there, and it always seems like Yadi is coming up in big situations. He finished tonight 3 for 5, but it was work behind the plate that proved to be just as impactful. And for 6 innings, he helped guide starting pitcher Carlos Martinez through a potential no-hit bid. And when the Diamondbacks ended no-hitter in the 7th and managed to load the bases with nobody out, Molina and reliever Ryan Helsey worked through the jam to keep the lead intact. Now, Yadi has signed a 1-year, $9 million contract in the offseason to return to the Cardinals this season. And he's hitting .301 with an .886 OPS, 7 homers and 22 RBIs. Has he been a bargain for that team? He sure has. Martinez was fantastic yesterday. He kept the Diamondbacks at bay as he chased the Cardinals' first no-hitter in 20 years. He had 6 batters and 6 hitless innings, but unfortunately, things quickly unraveled for Mart in the 7th. A leadoff single by Ketel Marte ended the no-hit bid, and Eduardo Escobar followed a single of his own. David Peralta, ruled dead by fan interference, played a 1 run. Martinez was knocked out of the game with 86 pitches, 55 strikes. Genis Cabrera allowed another 2 runs to score on a Pavin Smith double for leaving with the bases loaded. Schilt summoned Helsley from the bullpen. He worked out of the jam on exactly 10 pitches and 2 strikeouts. It was huge. It really was. He did a Houdini to Helsley. He was in attack mode, and that's what you need in that situation. Have one of those I don't give a damn attitudes and just go for it. He was basically throwing it 1 pitch at a time. And he minimized the damage. That was huge. So a lot of players came in big up in the game, big for the Cardinals yesterday. Martinez, Yadier, and of course, Helsley is the bullpen man. Now, how about Alek Manoah? If you're going to have a debut like Alek Manoah had yesterday. In the Bronx, in the first game of a doubleheader. He made his debut. He had a lot of fans there, friends and family, 40 of them. Reduced crowd at Yankee Stadium. You could hear them cheering. But Manoah became the first pitcher from the 2019 class to debut in the majors and put on a show for his boisterous supporters. He struck out 7, walking only 2 hits and 2 walks on 88 pitches. His leadoff walk to DJ LeMahieu in the first was the only time the right-hander made things on the Yankees hitters. Manoah admitted his nerves spiked in that plate appearance, but from there, the 23-year-old sharpened his focus. Those 4 was just kind of like, I don't want to suck, so let's lock it in right there and start pitching. Then struck out Odor and Judge in consecutive at-bats. And the touchdown of Judge was eye-opening for Manoah as he saw the former American League Rookie of the Year whiff so hard he dropped to a knee. Judge gets thrown on a 97.3-mile-an-hour fastball, offering a late half swing for strike 3. It was just like, man, this is fun, Manoah said. He was competing as hard as I can. I was competing as hard as I can. That's baseball. It was amazing. So Manoah's Toronto's number 5 prospects. They got a lot of good kids in their farm system. So he was the number 1 overall draft pick in the 2019 draft. And the last Toronto player to have a shorter gap between the draft and his first start was left-hander Brett Cecil, who debuted on May 5th, 2009. So nice story. Good to see Manoah doing what he did yesterday. And lots of fun stuff for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are a team I really, really, really like coming in down the line. I think they're going to be a fun watch for sure. So that's going to wrap up our little segments on what's going on in baseball. What I'm going to do now is run down the standings, as I always like to do for you guys. Oh, and by the way, please subscribe to this YouTube cast. It would mean a lot to me. Just hit the subscribe button. Always feel free to leave comments. I'm always open to new ideas, and you guys always contribute them. A lot of you have my email address where you've written to me. That's philstan41@gmail.com. I really appreciate all that you offer in your comments, and I can't believe all the positive responses we're getting. So again, thank you very much. It really does mean a lot to me. Again, I don't mean to belabor this point, but whatever you guys do, that's fantastic, and I appreciate it. Now, in today's schedule, we got a 1 afternoon tilt for you. We got the Reds at the Cubs. Gutierrez against Hathaway. That's at 2:20. That'll be covered by the MLB Network nationwide, so everyone gets a chance to watch that one. Then tonight, the Rockies visit the Pirates. Not the most appealing game in the matchup on the matchup board. 2 struggling teams this year, maybe the 2 worst teams in the National League. Jay Gray against M. Keller. Brewers at the Nationals. Anderson against Lester. Blue Jays at the Indians. Ryu. I love to see Ryu pitch, don't you? Against Morgan tonight. And then out in Citi Field, we're supposed to get 1 to 2 inches of rain in this area, so I'm not sure if that one's going to take place, but it does. It's Anderson against Taijuan Walker. Good to see Taijuan coming back from his injury. And then the Marlins are visiting the Red Sox. Poteet against Perez. Yankees, nice matchup against Detroit tonight. Garica against Casey Mize for the Tigers. That one's a good watch. You might want to circle that one on your MLB.TV calendar. The Padres play the Astros with Met against Valdez. Then we got the Royals against the Twins. Twins still trying to hang in there. They got Dobnak going against Bubik tonight. Orioles, Matt Harvey really struggling of late going against Dallas Keuchel. Harvey's ERA's ballooned up to 6.31, and Keuchel's 3-1 with a 4.28 ERA. Then we got the Angels against the A's tonight. And that's a free game a day on MLB.TV. So if you don't subscribe, you'll even get to watch this one if you want. It's a beauty. Otani against Manoah tonight. Cardinals against the Diamondbacks. Oviedo against Bumgarner. And then the last game scheduled to go off at 10:10 is DeSclafani against Bueller, Giants, and the Dodgers, and that all-time classic rivalry. That is always fun. Fun, fun, fun. Isn't that what baseball is all about? Fun? You got it. Let's see. Take a quick look at the standings for you. Always like to do that. Figure out what's going on. Not just with your team, but what's going on in baseball. I'm trying to pull them up here. Doing my best. They're not coming up. God damn it. Maybe if I use my cellular phone, they'll come up. You know, this is what you got to do on a live TV. You got to improvise. Oh, here we go. It came up on the main screen here. So we got Tampa Bay in first place in the American League East. 1 game ahead of Boston, who qualifies for a wild card, and 2 games ahead of the Yankees, who qualify for a wild card. The AL Central, we got the White Sox, first place by 1.5 games over the Indians. In the West, we got the A's, 1.5 game lead over the Astros. In the National League East, we got the Mets 2.5 games ahead of Philadelphia. In the Central, we got St. Louis a half game against the Cubs. And Brewers are only 3 out. So that may be a race we were all expecting after all. Could be a fun one there. Another fun one is going to be out in the West where San Diego has a half game lead over the Dodgers. The Giants still hanging in there, 1.5, and both the Dodgers and Giants will qualify for a wild card. So there you basically have it. And again, that wraps up today. We'll try to be back tomorrow to give you all the updates again. But again, thank you so much. If you haven't joined the baseball group, Baseball Way of Life, please do. Great group, greatest baseball fans in the world there. You'll enjoy everything you see there. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube cast, please do. We try to come up at least once a day, maybe even more than that. So please subscribe and please feel free to leave your comments. So happy Memorial Day weekend. And let's remember why Memorial Day weekend's here in the first place. Remember all those who served our country. And enjoy it. It's a 3-day weekend. Enjoy it, but please do remember why we are observing. So have a great day. Play ball. And thanks for watching. You mean a lot to me.